Go ahead.
Um, as usual, I want to thank everyone for getting on to this call. And we're going to talk tonight a little bit tackling and conquering and overcoming fears. We've all experienced fear not only in our lives, but specifically in our Plexus businesses. We've all questioned why we're doing this. We've questioned what others think through this. And the past really 30 days, there's been, I've dove into the book, What to Say When You Talk to Yourself. And that book, if you haven't read it, I would highly, highly, highly recommend getting it. And that is by Shad Helmstetter, Stetter, Shad, S-H-A-D, What to Say When You Talk to Yourself. And with that book, it really talks a lot about reprogramming and how what we tell ourselves and what we say to ourselves is what we believe, and often what comes to fruition, because our brain, we know, is a super powerful thing and a super powerful tool and computer. And we're programming that by talking to ourselves. And we have a group that's heading into this next month that are wanting to reach the goal of being emerald and have goals of wanting to leave their jobs and goals of providing for their families more than they're able to right now through this opportunity and through this business. And I'm super excited to introduce to you all, and you probably know them already, but Michele Meyer, who's a silver ambassador with us. She signed up under Ashley, and also Elizabeth Lawrence, who's also a silver ambassador. But they asked if they could lead this team call tonight and if they could pour into you all as they've been going through this book and challenged to pour into their teams. And you all know that this is one Plexus, and we do encourage one another and lift one another up. And so I love that they took on the challenge of asking to lead this team call. And so Michele and Elizabeth, if you guys just want to talk a little bit about your journey and then hop into what you would like to share with us tonight.
All right, I'm going to go first. Am I unmuted? I'm good.
Yes.
Okay. So my name is Elizabeth Lawrence. For those of you that don't know who I am, I did sign up under Ashley. I've been doing Plexus since about April. I signed up at the very end of March. And I have a goal of staying home with my kids. I'm a nurse. I love what I do. I love to help people. And it's become a passion of mine to be able to help people now through Plexus and be able to stay home and enjoy my kids and raising my kids. So I am pushing forward with this next 9-month thing that Lorelei was talking about. And I'm super excited, and I wanted to share a little bit about what we've been learning. This book that Lorelei was talking about is awesome. I'm not much of a reader, but I find that this book has been doing so much more for me in my personal life and not just Plexus. So I wanted to start and talk a little bit about how and why we're programmed to think and say the things that we do to ourselves. It starts out actually as kids. So I don't know if you can think back when you were growing up, how often you were told no, or you can't do that, or you're not big enough to do that. Those things that your parents never intentionally created this negative feeling or negative thoughts in your head, but unintentionally they have then instilled this negative thought that as you get older, as you're going through life, it starts to become a routine, a repetition of saying, I can't do that. And even if you don't say it, a lot of times you're subconsciously thinking it, and these negative things are only working against us. They're just, you're basically defeating yourself. And as adults, we find ourselves saying things like, I can't do that, or I wish I could, but I can't. sorry, pages are, even things, even saying things like, I just want to lose some weight, or I know I should reach out to my friend Susie about these awesome Plexus products. Next time you find yourself thinking that, I want you to say out loud the rest of that sentence. A lot of times what you're actually thinking is, I know I should reach out to Susie about these awesome Plexus products, but she really probably doesn't want to hear what I have to say. Or I know I should probably lose some weight, but I've tried everything and I really can't. You're ultimately defeating yourself. And in carrying over to your Plexus business, it's just going to put up a roadblock. You're going to just hit a wall and you're not going to be able to move forward. And if it's a goal that you have to move forward, we have to be conscious of that, and we have to start reprogramming ourselves to from a negative to a positive. We need to turn our I can'ts into I cans and I will. I wanted to read a little blurb in this book really quick. I'm sorry. Which kind of put it into perspective for me. It said the leading behavioral researchers have told us that as much as 75% of everything we think is negative, counterproductive, and works against us. At the same time, medical researchers have said that as much as 75% of all illnesses are self-induced. So that means as much as 75% of more of our programming is the wrong kind, and we may not even be aware of it. When I look at my personal life and my kids, I, even over the last week, have been very conscious about what I'm saying to them and trying to instill these positive thoughts, telling them what they're good at, telling them what they can do instead of focusing on what they can't do, so that hopefully, they can start growing up in that way. And because ultimately we know once we become adults, it's going to be a lot harder to reprogram ourselves, even though ultimately that is what we need to move forward. Programming, obviously, the way we think, the way we talk to ourselves, has a huge impact both in our personal life and our Plexus business. And I think Michelle was going to talk a little bit about that.
Yes, thank you. So I'm Michele Meyer. I'm a silver investor with Plexus Worldwide. I got into this not for the business aspect. I was struggling with some pretty extreme anxiety, completely tired, worn out. Just couldn't function as a mom, couldn't function as a wife. In my career, by trade, I am a teacher. And so I was really looking for something to help alleviate those things, but in the most natural way, and in a way that wasn't going to require meds and just masking symptoms. So I joined Plexus in February of this year, and have had an incredible experience, not just with the products, but also with the business side of it. Like I said, I didn't intend on the business, but it has been very beneficial personally, professionally, and as a financial blessing to our family. So as Elizabeth mentioned, with this book, we have just found such a positive approach to life in general, and how you talk to yourself. So when you start to relate that to your personal life, and you start to add in those I can statements, or I am, I will, I do. Here's the little teacher in me. Here's my little flashcards so I can quiz you at the end. So you have to start talking to yourself and saying, I am a leader. I will fold my laundry. It's little things that when you word them positively, they will get done. So I challenge you to pick up some note cards for yourself and write those. And I have just taped them to my wall, up in my little computer area, so that I see those things and constantly tell myself what's written there. As I started, I could always tell you that organization is not my thing. And just that simple wording is incredibly negative. I've already set myself up that I'm not organized, so why am I even trying? With that, I have posted, I am organized. and I still smile and I still laugh when I say it, because I'm working on it. But that's one of those things where I'm asking you to own up. My biggest thing is own it and then change it. So if you own up to what you think is a negative, own it, call it what it is, and then you're able to change it. Once you've identified those areas, then you can start working on speaking more positively to yourself in order to change those. Also in your business, as you try to reprogram, you're going to want to find other people out there that are encouraging, to be on your team, but also just to find encouragement from. Our team page does a great job of that, and the other team pages as well. But really finding people that you can connect with, reach out to, and lean on in order to build yourself in those moments where you may be struggling to do so. So not only to find that encouragement, but then to offer that encouragement to other people as well. I've found it incredibly powerful to support each other. It kind of adds an extra layer of intensity to the business, to the camaraderie of it, when you're out there encouraging each other. So as you start to reprogram yourself, you may feel silly. You may feel incredibly silly to say things like, here's my, I will fold my laundry because that's my weekend. Like, I will do it. I just know I'm going to do it. And I just tell myself I'm going to do it. And then it's going to happen. This is one that I really do have energy. But it's one of those things where you feel worn out and you're thinking, I don't want to do anything else. And I'm like, no, I do have energy. I have energy. I can do this. I can make these lunches. I can get this done. I can email 3 more people. When you start to tell yourself that you can, you will. So Elizabeth, I think, is going to share a great quote as far as how to keep in mind when you're reprogramming.
So we've kind of talked about the negative programming that we all are innately developed, basically, and how important that is to reprogram yourself to the positive. This book, this is like my favorite quote from the book. So in logical progression, what we believe determines our attitudes, which affects our feelings, directs our behavior, and determines our successes or failures. So I'll read that one more time. What we believe determines our attitudes, which affects our feelings, which directs our behaviors, which ultimately determines our success or failure. So if you're thinking negative things, that's going to lead to a feeling of defeat, a lack of confidence. You're not going to be pushing yourself to get anywhere in life or in your Plexus business. You're just going to be setting yourself up for failure. You're going to be defeated before you even start. But if we can switch that, if we can turn the I can'ts into I cans and be consistent with that, repetition is a convincing argument. That's another quote from this book. We have to be consistently catching ourselves and rewording what we're about to say to be the positive. I mean, we all have bad days. It's not going to be hard, or it's not going to be easy every day to be happy-go-lucky, but we need to focus on seeing the positive in every situation, so that once we start programming our minds to think positively, we're then going to be more confident. We're going to be able to overcome our fears, and we're going to be able to push forward and get to where we want to get. We all have a dream, whether it's with Plexus, whether it's with Plexus and something else in life. And if you're constantly being on the down, being on the negative, you're just going to be fighting against yourself. Michelle, I think you were going to go then into how that positivity and reprogramming can then ultimately help to overcome your fears and things like that.
Absolutely. So I did touch on fears a tiny bit as far as if you can identify what those fears are, then you can own it and change it. When I think about some of my fears within the Plexus business, I think about I'm afraid or I'm fearful that people will think I sound pushy. And instead, when you think about that, your genuine tone will come across to people. And if you turn that into why you're doing this, I don't know a single one of us that's ever gotten into this for anything but very pure reasons. So when you think about it, your heart is in this, and you tell yourself, I'm sharing this because it will change someone's life. And you literally have to say that out loud. You can't just let that just kind of trickle back in your mind. That needs to be in your forefront so that you are constantly knowing why you're doing this. There's a wonderful app that was brought to us called Repeat It. And again, you may feel silly, but just a little, but it allows you to have that affirmation repeated to you over and over again. And this is absolutely reprogramming. If you think, I mean, however old you are, 22, 34, 47, I mean, it doesn't matter. However old you are, you have that many years of possible negative programming, and it's going to take a little while to reprogram yourself. Just like we say, you know, your gut didn't get like this in 30 days, so it's not going to be fixed in 30 days. That you need to realize that reprogramming yourself is going to be a process. So yep, the Repeat It app is a great way to start affirming yourself with positivity. And Post-its on your mirror, on your dashboard, right on the back of your receipt. I'm good at saving money. And then you're just affirming the positive. Anywhere that you can write it down. And then put that into your business, that you can build your confidence and share the products that make a difference, knowing that you're doing it for the right reasons. Then is it back to Lorelei? Ashley?
I'm going to remind you, because you are a great leader, Michele, that I think you were going to talk about the importance of power partners.
Okay, I've got it. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So a power partner would be somebody that you can work this business with, that you can lean on, build. Here's a good example. A power partner could be somebody that you create a secret group with on Facebook, and you each can pour posts into it. I know that one of the things that was challenging for me was keeping track of which posts I found and saved and shared and whatnot. So a way that you could team up with someone as a power partner would be to pour in articles, pour in posts, pour in positive quotes and things like that into, you could call it positive Plexus posts, and pour that, each of you contribute to that. And then from there, when you were ready to go and post them, just comment underneath it. It's your own secret group. You would just say, you know, I use this October 1st. Or you can even tag like little bullet points under there. Say you're saving diamond documentaries in there, and you want to remember who these might connect with. Single mom, homeschooling, all natural, whatever it may be that might speak to somebody when you want to share that. When you're not doing things by yourself, obviously you feel more connected, but you are able to build your business, build your team so much more efficiently. Again, as a teacher by trade, I think that when you don't have to recreate the wheel, you're so much more prone to continue on, and you're so much more likely to succeed. So who can your power partner be? It may be somebody who's already on your team. It may be somebody that you find along the way as somebody to bring onto your team. It can be a sideline. It can be an upline. It can be your downline. Somebody who's committed to it for some of the same reasons, who has the same drive, and who is going to offer you that encouragement and that positivity to keep on going.
Great job.
Thank you.
I'm going to add a couple of things just because we all got together last night and chatted, and a few things have come up since then. I think, again, what Michelle's saying is when you have a power partner, you're more likely to continue with this business. So those of you that are leaders and wanting to grow your business, as you get new people on your team, encourage your people to find others. Michelle and Elizabeth did not know each other at all before this started. They kind of came together because of me, because we went to Indianapolis. I didn't do that on purpose. I wish I could give myself the credit for that. But it's something that just happened naturally. And it is so encouraging. I'm sure you've seen other people in these network marketing. People are more likely to quit network marketing because they don't feel supported. If you can keep your people supported and encouraged, that's just going to better your team and your team's involvement. One other thing that I listened to a Sarah Marble video today, and towards the end of it, it was her Power Hour video. It said, activity kills fear. And I think that's ultimately what they were saying today, is that you need to act on your fears. If you don't act on your fears, they're only going to grow. The minute you start acting on them, the minute they don't have control over you. So that's my encouragement, whether you just write that down, make it your screensaver, make it your background. Activity kills fear. We've got to get moving. We've got to keep the momentum going and just stomp out the fear, because we're moving and it's so exciting to see it grow. Lorelai, if you have anything to add, go ahead.
I don't know if you guys can see me right now. I was trying to go back into here.
There we go. We see you.
No, you guys did a really, really great job. I'm super proud of you for just saying, hey, we want to do this. We want to step up, and we want to be leaders, and we want to encourage our teams. And you guys have no idea how encouraging it is for us as leaders when you decide to step up and do something like this. So thank you so, so much for doing that. I'm thinking about the Bible verse that just talks about how we're not supposed to have a spirit of fear, and how that really is what this is about. We're not here to have a spirit of fear. We all have a place for this, and Plexus may not, for some of us, be the reason we started, but we now see the potential and see it as a vehicle to get where it is that we want to be. And the possibilities are super, super real, and we see that both in our own paychecks that we're getting at the end of the month, and also in others, let alone the fact that they are incredible products, and so they're easy, they sell themselves. And when we kind of get over, I forget which one of y'all said it, but sometimes we're afraid to talk about it. And when we're able to get over that and just put it out there for people, not only are yes, we're benefiting, but mostly truly we're helping them. And that's, I think, why every one of us started this journey and have become even more passionate about it as we've continued. So I'm just really proud of you two, and also excited to see what this is going to do for the rest of you. For those of you on this call that had never considered this before, who knows how this might spark something inside of you, and there may be something that God places on your heart that you want to share with the rest of you. So definitely don't be afraid to ask about that, because we want to encourage you on your journeys and help you out as much as we possibly can. Does anyone have any questions for Elizabeth or Michele? No.
One thing I thought about challenging anybody, and I know it's tough to be put on the spot sometimes, but if anybody was willing to give themselves a shout out with an I can or an I will or an I do. I don't know if everybody's unmuted or not, but if you wanted to share something like that, if you could unmute yourself, then we could hear something, a positive affirmation from you before we end the call tonight.
I'll start. I will follow up with all my people. I'm not afraid that they're going to say that the products aren't going well.
I'll go. I will reach out to those that I feel could benefit from this, because I have an amazing opportunity to share with people.
All right, if you don't want to share out loud, down.
The thing that God keeps placing on my heart that I continue to say, and I've shared with you guys this both last week and I will again, but really I will share about the business opportunity. And I believe that it is good and people need it and people want it. All right, well, we'll go ahead unless anybody else wants to give a shout out. I love it. We'll go ahead and end this portion of the call. Feel free to stay on